Well, we have the potential for more storms later today. Some of those could be strong and produce some heavy rainfall on top of already saturated ground. Then it's going to be cooler and windier, but signs that we might be heating up later next week. It's going to be a steamy one today. Mid 80s, maybe some upper 80s across southern Minnesota ahead of this cold front. And you've already noticed dew points are high. In fact, it's the most humid air we've seen so far this year. Dew point reaching 67 degrees last night in the Twin Cities. The front in the eastern Dakotas, you can see the wind shift out of the west. South winds out ahead of it, all the way from the Gulf of Mexico, pumping in this humid air, and that will factor into what we see develop later today. Those dew points are going to stay very muggy in the 60s, maybe even flirting with the 70-degree mark. Which is pretty humid around here, especially for early June. But behind the front, that moisture is headed out of here. So if humidity is not quite your jam, by early tomorrow morning, you'll notice the difference, and that drier air will be with us for several days. We do have a slight risk, though, of severe weather today, level 2 out of 5, from southern Minnesota right through the Twin Cities to the international border. All because of the timing. That front will be coming through this area right at peak heating of the day, mid-afternoon to early evening. There'll be plenty of juice thanks to those dew points. We'll see energy or CAPE values that will be 2,000 to 3,000 joules. That's enough, but we don't quite have the shear profiles for a tornado day. The winds in the lower and middle atmosphere here are fairly parallel to the cold front as it moves through. So this is going to be more of a linear system, meaning a line of storms that comes through will produce some wind gusts and large hail. And it's always possible to see a brief spin up of a weak tornado. We get these kind of what we call gustnados, but these won't be the organized supercell type storms. So coming through in the late afternoon, early evening hours. And also this kind of situation is sort of a one and done. The severe threat is with the initial line of storms, and then you just get rain, lightning behind that. Cooler late tonight too, 50s for lows pretty much statewide, so it'll be a much more comfortable night. You can open that window before you go to bed. That drier, cooler air will come in. Highs tomorrow will be in the 70s, still very warm, upper 70s, still above normal, but it's going to get windier, and there will be enough instability still. Cold air moving in aloft, warm air here at the surface still, that we're going to see some pop-up showers and thunderstorms. Not a severe threat, but there will be some of these hit and miss downpours from basically the Twin Cities north because of this upper level cool air pocket moving through the area. And that's going to keep temperatures seasonable, mostly in the 70s right through the weekend and early next week as that slowly pushes out of here. But we're going to see this pretty big ridge of heat building to the west, and that might start to push eastward late next week. That could push temperatures up. We'll keep an eye on that. It's still a week away at least before that pattern change, but by Thursday, highs are just going to be around 70. As far as rainfall later today, most of us are going to stay under an inch. This is a blend, a weighted average of the model sort of, but when we look at some of the specific models, you can see that they are hinting at pockets of heavier rain. The location is not what you should be paying attention to. The models aren't that great with that. But the fact that they're hinting at these 2-inch plus amounts in some pockets, localized, is a potential concern because these are the rivers. We've got a lot of rivers heading towards minor or moderate flood stage. Montevideo, one of those. And then even along the Mississippi and Minnesota River, minor to moderate flood stage. So what happens with the rainfall today could have an impact on river levels and also saturated soils, of course. But then we're in for a stretch of dry weather after tomorrow. We'll have those hit and miss downpours, but cooler, drier air is going to keep things pretty quiet. There's just a real isolated chance of a shower Sunday and Monday, but overall, several days of dry weather. We have not had several consecutive days without measurable rainfall in a while, and we could be in for that pretty nice looking weekend actually shaping up, especially Saturday, where we'll see more sunshine.